It's time to lace up your running shoes for a really good cause. The nonprofit organization Cancer Awareness and Resource Network is holding its first 6K run and walk to raise money for cancer survivors. The race is June 3rd in River Rouge. Proceeds help cancer fighters and their families with everyday concerns like paying bills, buying food, and arranging childcare. Here to tell us more is the organization's president, Keith White. He is joined by Tawana Carmichael, a cancer survivor who's been helped by the group. Thank you to both of you for being here.
Thank you
for having me.
Absolutely. I love the idea of this walk and run because it's not just about cancer, it's about cancer survivors, right? What happens after you beat cancer? You have to live. And for a lot of people, the disruption is not just medical, it's financial, it's social, it's all of these things that sort of fall apart.
Absolutely. And so our 6K walk run coming up just June 3rd, it's really about all of that. So it's for the cancer fighters, cancer survivors, and their caregivers. And most people overlook the caregivers, but that's very important because they are the ones that's actually giving the care.
They live with it too.
They live with it every day.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about how you came up with the idea of the run here to do this.
Well, we were established back in 2014, but we really were designed to talk about and deal with cancer and the colors of cancer. So our walk run is actually entitled The Colors of Cancer, Race for Resources. And we deal with the colors of cancer because most people believe or they know of pink being the color of cancer. But pink is actually the color of breast cancer. And so every cancer has its own color. And so, say for instance, lung cancer is white and ovarian cancer is teal and colon cancer is dark blue and prostate is light blue and so on and so on. And so what we're going to do on this particular, for this particular race is when you sign up for the race, you tell us what cancer you represent, and when you get there, you'll get the shirt of the color that represents that cancer.
Right, so I'm used to seeing the Race for the Cure event with everybody in pink. At your event, I'll see people in lots of different colors.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think I knew that there were different colors for different.
That's a part of our education process. Because pink and breast cancer, and they've done an excellent job with getting the word out. But when you just focus in on breast cancer, there's so many people that you leave out.
Right.
And so matter of fact, our motto is cancer doesn't discriminate, so we won't either.
Right. Tawana, you're a survivor, been helped by the network. Talk about your struggle with the disease.
I call cancer a thief. It not only steals the lives of some people, but it takes people's livelihood. And as an 11-year survivor, I, through Kern, have been able to get my voice back. You know, cancer steals your voice because it's for some people it's shame, for some people it just sends you into a deep depression, so you lose who you are. But in my case, I'm able to be an advocate, get my voice back, and help those who may be going through, have gone through, or will maybe go through in the future.
Yeah, talk a little more about your personal struggle. When you say you lost your voice,
you go into a place where you don't want to talk because there are all these physical changes that come along with cancer treatment.
Sure.
You lose your hair, you lose your eyebrows. Some people lose body parts. Some women lose their breasts. Others have complete and total hysterectomies, which I'm an ovarian cancer survivor, and it was very rare that it was caught as early as it was. But I'm a mother of two. So as a mother of two and a wife, going through cancer, you have to be mindful because I have to fight for my girls. I have to be here. It's a battle.
Yeah. And so the support that you've been able to give her, I think, is indicative of what you're talking about, that it's not just her, it's everyone around her.
Absolutely. So when we talk about the fighter, when you're in the fight, and when we talk about the fight, it's a real fight. It's a battle. And so you support that person that's going through it. And then you support the caregiver who's actually going through it. When you hurt, I hurt. when you don't want to eat, it's a strain on me because I've got to try to make you and get you to a place. But then after you have become a survivor, what I call when I talk to survivors, I tell them you're stronger than you ever can think. Because the truth of the matter is you've survived something that most people have no idea. And if you really go back and think about it, people have died for less.
Yeah.
And so we support the entire process.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about how important your family was through all of
Family,
this.
the support of my family was everything. I'm kind of the strong one, so it was interesting being strong yet being sick.
Right.
I have to be well because they're watching me.
And they need me to.
Yeah, they need me to be strong. I need to be here.
Yeah.
So it's such a process, but just being able to stand in the gap and let people know that it's okay. It's okay that you have cancer. It's not anything that you have to run away from or hide from. Matter of fact, lace your shoes, put your gloves on, and get ready to fight.
Right, right. Do you feel like a lot of other survivors feel like they can't talk about it, feel like they can't be open about what they're dealing with?
Well, Stephen, I think a lot of times people are ashamed or they don't want sympathy. You know, it's a lot of times it's about, I don't want your sympathy. I just want you to fight with me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is the mindset. And with Kern, you know, their motto is if it's treatable, it's beatable.
Right.
So you have to change the way that you think about it, you know, and you have to just be ready.
Yeah. I want to ask you about how this affects the African American community differently. Most things do. This idea of the isolation of the survivor and the family, though, I think probably would be a little worse in our community.
Well, Stephen, what I have found through my research and just being out here in the trenches, there's what happens more often than I would really like to admit is, especially when your spouse from a female, the spouse, when she has been diagnosed with cancer, more men actually leave.
Oh, is that right?
And that's a big problem. Huh. And so what we're trying to do is really, when we talk about educating the whole family, the whole process, that's part of the process, because really explaining and talking to people about how they really need you.
Yeah.
And when you take those vows and say that for better or for worse, and you can't.
That's what you're committing to.
Absolutely. Right? So you can't take the better and then run away with the worse.
Yeah.
And so in the African American community, the struggle is different.
Yeah.
Because part of that problem is we don't have the financing, we don't have the insurance, we don't have a big brother or mother or grandfather who just have a pile of money sitting in the corner
help us out, right?
And waiting. And so the struggle is a little different. It's a little harder.
Yeah.
And so what we try to do is really just bridge the gap and stand in the gap.
Yeah.
And so that we have what we call our core four. And so we try to help people emotionally, spiritually, financially, and nutritionally.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, great event and good work with all of what you're doing. Thanks very much for being here.
All right.
Yeah.